I'm sure by now you've become used to the fact that when a new tier of content comes out, that also brings new recipes for crafting, which some of the items can normally be bis. Trial of the Crusader will be no different when Phase 3 drops, but there's a few things you might want to get ready now, start preparing, stock them up in the bank, or even start making bank on the auction house because they're a bit weirder than you would expect. So with Trial of the Crusader, there'll be a bunch of new patterns that you can get for blacksmithing, tailoring, and leatherworking. That's it. Sorry, enchanters, alchemists, and everyone else. It is just the big three. I say the big three as if everybody's blacksmithing, leatherworking, and tailoring. Most of us are engineering, but still. For each different armor type, you're going to be able to get a recipe for chest and bracers. Now, some of these are itemized incredibly well. Of course, for the plate items, you're going to need Titan steel bars as well as Crusader orbs, which Crusader orbs are basically like runed orbs from Ulduar, except for they drop in Trial of the Crusader, and they're called Crusader orbs. You can also spend your new emblems of Triumph on them, but you're probably not going to want to do that straight away, not unless you're aiming to make gold rather than get tier, which that's up to you. The same goes for leatherworking, where you would assume just Arctic fur and Crusader orbs, and then tailoring, of course, it's going to depend on what type of armor that it actually is, whether it's tailored towards that puns. Oh. Whether it's tailored towards your caster DPS, where you might need Spellweave, or your healers, where you might need Moonshroud, etc., etc. You're most of the way there because that is absolutely true. Yes, you need a combination of the normal things that you would expect, depending on whether it's blacksmithing, leatherworking, or tailoring, as well as Crusader orbs. But there's some weird curveballs thrown in as well, and some bits that you can start preparing now if some of this armor is what you're after. So tanking wise, you're going to be able to get Breastplate of the White Knight and Saronite Sword Breakers. Both of these itemized incredibly well, with the bracers having hit, defense, dodge, and the breastplate having defense, dodge, and parry, and obviously a ton of sockets. For the bracers, outside of just the 8 Titan steel bars and the 4 Crusader orbs, you're going to need some Saronite bars, just a stack of 20. So you could prepare the Titan steel bars and the Saronite bars right now. The chest is one which is a little bit more difficult because not only does it require 12 Titan steel bars and 8 Eternal Lives, which you can get now, 8 Crusader orbs, but then the other one is 2 Majestic Zircons. Now, Majestic Zircons are obviously the epic gems that are going to come with Phase 3. So you can either stock up on titanium ore to get ready to prospect it, or get a jewel crafter to prospect it and hope you get those 2 gems. Or the easiest way is probably to have some emblems stacked up now, or even some honor stacked up now to just be able to buy these 2 instantly. Obviously, you're still going to need these recipes, so you're going to have a bit of luck to get the recipe fairly quickly. The healing bracers for Holy Paladins are Sunforged bracers, and the chest is Sunforged breastplate. Now, the bracers are itemized incredibly well with haste, mana per 5, and spell power, and you've got that yellow socket. It'll definitely be worth using, especially if you haven't managed to get bindings of Wintergale from Hodir 25 hard mode, and outside of the Crusader orbs, you can get everything you need for these now. The breastplate is also the same because both of these just require Eternal Life, 12 for the bracers and 20 for the chest, as well as 8 Titan steel bars for the bracers and 10 Titan steel bars for the chest. Nothing difficult to obtain here. The plate DPS chest and bracers both come with crit and armor pen, so these are going to be sought after by your Frost DKs and your warriors, and these do require something a bit strange that you can prepare now. So for the chest plate, aside from the Titan steel and the Crusader orbs, you're going to need 4 deadly Saronite dirks. Now, these are crafted by blacksmithing, and they require 2 crystallized air and 7 Saronite bars, so nothing too difficult here, but if you want to get them ready, get them ready. But these could be something that you actually start selling fairly reliably on the auction house. The same goes for the wrists, where you now need Vengeance bindings. These are again created by blacksmithing, and they need 12 Saronite bars and 1 Eternal Fire. So these are a little bit more expensive to craft, but the actual recipe for the bracers, as in the epic bracers, titanium spike guards, do only require 1 of these. But again, the throwing weapons and these bracers could potentially be something that you see pick up in sales on the auction house. The Mal spellcasting bracers and chests all require some enchanting mats as well as a few other things. These actually probably work out quite expensive to craft because the bracers need Nerubian chitin, 40 of those, 4 abyss crystals, as well as the 6 Arctic fur and the 4 Crusader orbs. The chest doesn't need the abyss crystals, but it does need 8 greater cosmic essences. So enchanting mats for these as well. Again, something that could start to sell because these are pretty well itemized. If you're a resto shaman, that is. The DPS male items being Crusaders Dragon Scale bracers and Crusaders Dragon Scale breastplate. These don't really require anything out of the ordinary because all you need is Icy Dragon Scales for both, that's 40 of each, 8 Eternal Water, 6 Arctic Fur and 4 Crusader Orbs, whereas the only addition is for the breastplate. You're going to need 8 Arctic Fur instead of 6, and you're also going to need 8 Eternal Life. Of course, Crusader Orbs, you're going to need 8 of these as well. But nothing too drastic for those. You don't need any special mats, just mainly your leatherworking mats. The leather wrists, being Braces of Swift Death, and the chest, which is Nightbane Carapace, are both extremely nice, mainly because they got armor pen on, so feral druids, combat rogues, you're going to be pretty excited by these. Again, they don't really require anything out of the ordinary, with the requirements being 20 heavy Borean leather for the bracers, along with 12 Eternal Shadows and 6 Arctic Furs. And for the chest, again, just more Borean leathers, Eternal Shadows and Arctic Furs. Other than the Crusader Orbs, these don't work out that expensive to make. Finally, for leatherworking, you've got the Lunar Eclipse robes and the Moon Shadow arm guards. Would have been nice if these were haste instead of crit, but still not bad at all. Again, no weird requirements to either of these, it's just heavy Borean leather, Eternal Life, Arctic Fur and Crusader Orbs, and that's for both. The tailoring wrists for DPS are incredibly nice, being Bejeweled Wizard's bracers. This is because they got crit, haste and spell power and a socket. These do require some gems, so you're going to have to do the same as what I recommended for the blacksmithing recipes, where you either use some emblems, some honor, or titanium prospects, or even alchemy transmutes, whatever you want to do to get them, but you're going to need a few epic gems for yours. In an Eye of Zor, a Cardinal Ruby, and a Majestic Zircon, so 3 epic gems, on top of the fact that you're going to need 8 Spellweave and 4 Crusader Orbs. Again, itemised exactly the same as the chest, with crit, haste and spell power on. No epic gems required for these, instead it's 8 Dream Shards, on top of needing 8 Ebenweave, 8 Spellweave and 8 Crusader Orbs. So you can see why you can get epic gems from so many sources, because not only do you need them for your gems, as in to put in your gear, there's quite a few recipes that need them as well. And finally, rounding off the video, you've got Royal Moonshroud Bracers and Royal Moonshroud Robe. The only one that requires anything out of the ordinary here is the chest, so the Royal Moonshroud Robe, which don't just require 20 Moonshroud and 8 Crusader Orbs, it also needs 2 King's Ambers. Again, just 2 epic gems. Get them however you want. The bracers also 12 Moonshroud and Crusader Orbs, but no other additions to the recipes at all. But being crit spell power, both of these pretty nice for Disc Priests. And that's all the recipes coming from Trial of the Crusader in Phase 3. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.